Every 3 months of the year, I like to do a little reset. We're going to be filling out my bullet journal, goal planning for the last quarter of the year, and talking about some good habits to start before the next year. It is September 24th today, and I just filmed my October bullet journal setup yesterday. First, I just want to go through and fill out my bullet journal with all of the plans and events that I have scheduled for the next month of the year. Obviously, there's nothing to do on the cover page, so let's flip over to the calendar spread. So here we have all of the dates I need to fill in for October and also some monthly goals. I talked in my how to start a bullet journal video about my process from migration in a journal, so you can watch that video link below if you need more advice on that. So right now I'm basically just going to go back to my future log and look at any days for October that I need to put in my calendar. This is a pretty small calendar compared to last month, but I just decided to sacrifice my space in order to fit this drawing over here on the left. I didn't have much going on in my future log, but I do have a couple other things that I want to put in here. So I'm going to come back from Houston on the 1st because I'm traveling during this weekend. I'm also traveling the last weekend of October, so I'm going to put Houston trip over here too. Sometimes I just like to write this little line and kind of indicate that this overlaps 3 days rather than writing it out 3 times. Now, there are some things that happen every week. For example, I go to church every Sunday. I post a new video every Saturday. I usually would probably put them in the calendar, but just to save space in this instance, I'm going to leave them out and only put them in my weekly spreads. The next thing I'm going to go back to is my student bullet journal setup. So I have been using this on and off, but as you can see, I have written down a couple due dates in October that I need to point out. On the 27th, I have an insights presentation. Then I have this part of the group project due on the 13th. So on the 9th and 10th, I have fall break, so there should be no classes. Halloween is here, so I'm just gonna write that down because obviously. Now this is the goal section, but I'm actually gonna come back to this in a few minutes because I do wanna talk about goals, but I also wanna do them digitally. So we'll come back to this section of the page. Let's flip over to the academic planning page. I talked about this briefly in my October bullet journal setup, but basically I have a column for each week and they're actually dates down here. So this is the 9th to the 13th. And then each row represents a different class. So film 1301, marketing, etc. all the way down the line. Basically, here's where I put either due dates or to-do lists for that week. So from the 9th to the 13th in Writer, I'll just put everything in this little box right here. It's a new spread that I implemented in September, but one that I really enjoyed using, so I'm going to continue using it for this month. Basically, I'm just going to pull up my syllabi on the computer over here. You kind of can't see it, it's out of frame, but you don't really need to see it. And I'm going to go down the line looking at anything that's due and writing those in each of the boxes here. Okay, so that definitely took a little bit of time, but as you can see, there are definitely some classes that don't have a very fleshed out syllabus, which is a little annoying because I have to wait until the week of before I get my tasks, but whatever. I have the things for my 3 main courses and then this one down here. There is a fall break in between, which means that these first couple weeks are a little easier than these last couple, but again, I'll add to this as the month goes on. Let's flip over to the last page of my October bullet journal setup, and these are my trackers. I don't really have much to fill out here because obviously the month hasn't started yet. I need to write down 4 different symptoms I want to track this month, but I am going to keep that personal and just write it off screen. I have my 6 habits that I'm tracking this month, and of course I will fill in each box once I finish it. I'm pretty sure I'm going to fill in each box with the brown pen because I want to make this spread a little darker. These spreads all have a lot of, really dark shading to kind of contrast each other, but over here it seems a little lighter, so I'm probably going to just color in each box with the brown font liner that I got whenever the month actually starts. And then of course my expenses tracker, I will also do that during the month. Hello, voiceover Sophie here. When I filmed this clip, I spent like 15 minutes over explaining everything, and then I also was sitting under my very loud AC, so the audio was very bad. So I'm just gonna do this in voiceover format. This is my goals page on Notion. I showed it to you guys a million times before. I have a Notion tour on my channel for 2023 if you want to go check it out. But I have my word of the year, bucket list, vision board, my 5 goal categories, and under that I have the 4 quarterly check-ins for the year. So since we are resetting not only for October but also for the last quarter of the year, I figured we should go in and do our reflection for the 3rd quarter of 2023. So I'm doing my word of the quarter as transition because I moved into college this month and it was a huge life transition for me. I also think it's super important to list not only the things that went well during the month but the things that didn't really go so well. So personally, some of the things that did go well was I had a great end of summer with my friends. We went on a little trip trip, and I really tried to prioritize my relationships before I moved away. I also had a pretty successful move-in and adopting to my new university life, and I've also done really well with content production recently. I've been able to upload 1 YouTube video a week and around 4 YouTube shorts and reels, so that's pretty good for me. It means I'm posting a video almost every day of the week, which has been great for my channel, and I want to say hello to all my new subscribers on this channel. Welcome. Some of the things that didn't go so well for me this quarter was time management, because I have a terrible habit of working way too late into the night, and I really need to work on that. I also didn't work enough towards my product launch as I really wanted to. I need to put more time and energy towards that coming towards the end of the year. And I also want to work on my financial goals, which I'll talk about a little later in this video. I think it's important to mention not only what you did well during the last month and recognize your successes, but also talk about what you can improve on and what you didn't do so well. Not necessarily because you want to be negative, but you got to be honest with yourself. And also by looking at the things that didn't go so well, you can kind of see how you want to focus on those things more in the last quarter, because obviously the things that you did well on you don't need to focus so much on because you already are succeeding in that aspect. Alright, so this is my overview of my Notion page again, and as you can see I have 5 goal categories. I'm going to show you guys my process for filling out and updating my goals for just one of these categories because I've done this before. So let's go into the academic section. As you can see at the top, I have a little progress bar with my stars. So I basically coded this in Notion. That way I have my total units, which is the amount of specific goals in this category, and I have 4, and then I've completed 2.5 of these. I do the math for it, and that makes the progress bar move along, which is super satisfying because I am a very visual learner. So scrolling down, you can see the 4 specific goals that I'm targeting in this academic section, and I'm going to go through each of them and then check off the individual tasks that I have finished in each goal. This is a very breakdown system, but by breaking it down to small pieces, I can really understand what small steps I need to get done to achieve the bigger things. So in my senior year memorable section, I did go on a trip with my friend, so I can officially cross off 6 out of 6 and complete this goal to 100%. In moving to university, I can also complete everything because I had a successful move-in at the end of August, so that's another thing that I can completely add, and that moves the progress bar from 67% to 100. Let me tell you, this is such a satisfying thing to do because I love seeing the little bar move along, and also because it's like the end of the year, it's nice to be able to see my progress that I've been working on. In the uni balance section, I haven't completely finished this. I still need to work on leaving my weekends free and give myself a little more social time, which is why I can't completely check that off. But overall, I can check off quite a few things in this category, and then afterwards I go up to the top and change this number, and you can see that the bar moves along 92%, which is actually pretty good considering it's only end of September, beginning of October. That means I'm quite far along in this goal. Alright, so I went in separately and did the last 4 goals and just updated them, so you can kind of see with this progress bar which goals I'm ahead at and which goals I'm behind at, which is why I love this visual and numerical way of tracking them, because obviously in personal and academic I am pretty far ahead with 84-92% considering it's the end of September, so I realistically should be at 75%. However, spiritual and content career are behind. I'm 69% in spiritual and 65% in content and career, so knowing that, I can say I need to work more towards these aspects of my life in the next couple of months before the year ends, because I know that I'm already achieving in some things but I am lacking in others, and that's why I love this progress bar system, because it helps me out so much to really figure out what I need to prioritize. If you like this system, I of course recommend Notion all the time, but if you're more of a writing person, you don't like to do things digitally, I do have a free goal setting PDF template that I offer. The link will be in the description box below. It's completely free to download, and it'll help you break down your life into specific goals and steps to achieve them, whether that's on the yearly spectrum, quarterly, monthly, whatever it is. It's a pretty simple PDF, so again, it'll be down below for you to check out. As you guys can see, we are back at my desk, and I want to go back to the goals section up here on the calendar page. Like I mentioned, I'm saving this until after I looked at my quarterly goals, but now that I've completely done that, I can see on my computer which spots I am lacking and which stuff I'm actually good at. So I'm going to put down a couple goals here. I want to read 5 books in October. A little ambitious, but I am working towards finishing that 50 books in a year goal that I have for myself for 2024. While I am 2 books ahead, I am behind in the page count. So I'm going to challenge myself to finish 5 this month. I also really think we can make 10,000 subscribers this month, so I'm going to put that on here. It's kind of an ambitious goal, but I'm really excited. Now, knowing those 2 are done, I'm going to go into my goals section on my computer and look at the things that I am lacking in, which is more the spiritual content. I'm going to find a church because I have been experimenting with different churches, but obviously because I don't live at home anymore, I need to find a new community to be in. And I'm also going to finish product draft. Now this is an insane goal, let me tell you, because I am much behind in this product that I'm trying to create, that some of you might be able to guess at this point, but I'm kind of behind. I need to continue working on it really hard. And it's going to be a busy month of October. It's obviously the middle of my fall semester, but I really need to make sure I'm getting this done so that my product can be out by the end of the year. So I'm really going to put a lot of time towards this month, which is why it's one of my monthly goals for October. I'm realizing this is kind of far away, so you guys can't really see that, but these are 4 goals that I really want to accomplish this month. There's not a lot of space here, but I don't want to overwhelm myself considering these are kind of big tasks. I might add 1 or 2 more later, but for now, this is pretty much what's gonna happen. Okay, hello. Got my little pot pie. And I want to talk for a second about habits, because personally I'm a very firm believer in planning ahead, goal setting. That's what this video has basically been all about, right? So obviously we were doing goal setting today for the last quarter of 2023 for autumn, but I think in this time of year you can also start thinking about potential goals that you want to have for 2024, and in that note, what habits do you want to start creating and sticking by to be at a better place before the new year starts. Everyone knows that, you know, New Year's resolutions and the goals that you set on January 1st barely last more than a couple weeks. Everyone gets super excited to, you know, go to the gym, eat healthy, set a daily devotional, stuff like that, but because it's just so intense all at once, there's not a really good way to stick to it, and everyone forgets their resolutions by like January 15th. But we are not going to be those people. We are going to be people who stick to our habits because we have goals that we want to accomplish and we want to be that better person. Personally for me, I know I talked a lot about my goals for the last quarter of the year, but long-term habit for me is financials. So because I'm a content creator, an entrepreneur, and I also manage social media of a different business, I have multiple different income streams coming in, and I'm always just trying to keep on track of all that. So I do have an expense tracker. That's something that I implemented at the beginning of this year, I'm pretty sure, and I've stuck with it because it's been really helpful in managing my finances. However, for the goals in 2024, I really want to make sure I'm saving money, not just finding new ways to, you know, bring it in. I want to start creating habits of doing so. So one habit is every month I'm going to set a percentage of my income aside into a savings account. I've been kind of doing this, but not consistently enough, and so I really need to focus on doing it. And so this is one other thing that I'm going to start from now, and hopefully that'll get me into the habit, you know, before all the stress of the New Year's comes around. But then by the time it is the next year, I'm already in the habit of doing it, so it's not hard to continue and work towards that long-term financial goal. Like I mentioned earlier in this video, I do have a goal setting template that is completely free for you to download. So if you want to download that template to help with any of your goal setting, quarterly, yearly, monthly, whatever it is, it'll be down in the description box below, so definitely go check that out. I really appreciate you guys for being here. Definitely subscribe if you want to see more weekly bullet journaling and productivity content from yours truly. And with that being said, I'm wishing you guys the most amazing, cozy autumnal season. And if you want to see my October bullet journal setup full of those cozy gothic vibes, check out this video here on the screen, and I will see you over there.